In a single year, one nation builds more ships than all other nations on Earth combined. This is not a scene from a distant future or a historical epic. It is happening right now, today, on February 2nd, 2026. The nation is China. Its shipyards, sprawling complexes of steel and fire, are churning out container vessels, oil tankers, advanced warships at a speed the world has never seen before. This simple, startling fact is more than just a statistic about industrial capacity. It is a powerful symbol of a profound shift in the global balance of power, a change that is quietly, and sometimes not so quietly, reshaping the foundations of our world. The sheer scale of this single industry points to a larger story. It is a story of economic might, logistical dominance, growing military ambition. For over a century, the West, led by the United States, has been the undisputed master of the seas and the primary engine of the global economy. That era is now being challenged in a fundamental way. The rise of China is not merely the arrival of a new competitor, it is the re-emergence of an ancient civilization as a modern superpower. Why does China's rise cause such profound anxiety in the West? The question is simple, but the answer is complex. It touches upon every aspect of modern life: economy, security, technology, core beliefs about how societies should be governed. The fear is not just about a single country becoming wealthier or stronger. It is about the potential displacement of an entire system of rules, norms, and power structures. For the first time since the fall of the Soviet Union, the Western model faces a potent and successful rival. The core of the issue is a shift from a unipolar world to a bipolar to a multipolar one. After 1991, the United States stood alone as the world's sole superpower. It could set the agenda, enforce the rules, shape the global environment with little effective opposition. China's rise directly challenges that status, presenting an alternative center of gravity. Nations are pulled into its economic and diplomatic orbit. This creates a new dynamic of competition for influence, resources, and alliances. The comfortable certainty of the post-Cold War era has vanished, replaced by a new and uncertain contest. So the question is not merely about China, it is also about the West itself. To understand China today, we must look back to 1978. At that time, China was impoverished, China was isolated, China was agrarian. Its economy was smaller than that of Italy. The vast majority of its population lived in extreme poverty, cut off from the world. The country was recovering from the immense turmoil of the Cultural Revolution. Its leader, Deng Xiaoping, made a pivotal decision: reform and opening up. Market forces were introduced, the country opened to foreign investment, and students were sent abroad. Special economic zones like Shenzhen transformed from a fishing village into a gleaming metropolis. Western companies rushed in for low-cost labor and a vast new market. China became the world's workshop, assembling everything from toys to iPhones. Hundreds of millions were lifted out of poverty in a historic economic miracle. Growth was methodical, moving up the value chain from simple goods to complex electronics. It built world-class infrastructure, including the largest high-speed rail network on Earth. The state-guided development with 5-year plans and state-owned enterprises. The world once believed economic liberalization would lead to political liberalization. That belief has faded. China perfected its own model, a powerful authoritarian state presiding over state-guided capitalism. This sprint from poverty to power in just over 4 decades fuels today's tension. And now, China has ambitions not just to make the world's goods, but to shape the world's future. China's economic power is the primary reason for its global influence. This power is built on 4 key pillars: trade, supply chains, investment, and debt. First, trade. China is the largest trading partner for more than 120 countries, including U.S. allies like Germany and Japan. Its immense market is essential for Western corporate profits. This trade dominance gives Beijing leverage via boycotts or regulatory hurdles. Second, supply chains. The pandemic revealed the world's critical dependence on Chinese manufacturing. Key parts of the global supply chain run through China, creating strategic vulnerabilities. Third, investment. Through the Belt and Road, China funds ports, railways, and power plants across Asia, Africa, and parts of Europe. Finally, debt. As a major creditor, Beijing's loans can translate into political influence and strategic footholds. Parallel to its economic explosion, China has modernized its military at extraordinary speed. It now fields the world's largest navy by number of ships, closing gaps through relentless shipbuilding. The U.S. still has advantages in carrier tonnage and technology, but China's carrier-killer missiles and A2AD strategies push U.S. forces farther from its shores. Overseas bases and militarized islands extend reach, protect trade routes, and monitor other navies. Investments in hypersonics, AI, space, and cyber aim at informationized warfare. Western officers see a peer competitor emerging in the very technologies that will define future wars. China's dual rise, economic and military, makes its challenge comprehensive and unsettling for Western capitals. The world is moving from U.S. primacy toward contested multipolarity. The most critical long-term competition may be over technology. It is about who controls the digital infrastructure of the 21st century. Beijing has made tech supremacy a national priority. China's vast data and state support fuel rapid progress in AI, from facial recognition to autonomy. The 5G battle showed how commercial competition merges with national security, prompting bans and supply chain realignment. Chips are a crucial front. China invests heavily to reduce dependence, while the West imposes export controls. Different views of data and surveillance diverge, with the West fearing a model of digital authoritarianism. The outcome of this race will shape the future of freedom in the digital age. At the heart of this rivalry is a fundamental difference in political systems and values. In the West, liberal democracies constrain power, protect individual rights, and deliberate openly, even if slowly. China's one-party system prioritizes state and party interests, enabling rapid decision-making and mobilization. When leaders set national goals, resources surge toward execution with minimal opposition. China's success challenges the notion that liberal democracy is destiny. Beijing seeks to reshape norms and institutions in ways friendlier to state control. The fear is not just of a rising power, but of a rising power with different ideas about how the world should be run. It is not about blame or celebration, but sober assessment of a change already underway. Understanding its scale and sources is the first step to navigating it. Faced with China's comprehensive rise, Western nations grapple with hard choices and costly trade-offs. De-risking aims to reduce critical dependencies without catastrophic decoupling. Moving key supply chains to friendly nations and back home raises costs but increases resilience. Governments boost innovation, from semiconductors to AI and quantum, while using tariffs and export controls carefully. The risk: escalation that fractures the global economy. Militarily, alliances tighten to deter aggression, even as Beijing decries encirclement. Flashpoints raise the danger of miscalculation and accidental conflict. Diplomacy seeks coalitions without forcing a new Cold War on a wary global South. The future could follow three broad paths: managed rivalry, new Cold War, or open conflict. Path 1: tense but stable competition managed by diplomacy, arms control, and clear red lines. Path 2: deepening confrontation, economic blocks, proxy contests, and constant strain. Path 3: war, catastrophic for two nuclear powers and the global economy, must be avoided at all costs. We began with shipbuilding scale, a window into a larger reality. The era of unchallenged American primacy is over. Great power competition has returned. The challenge is comprehensive: economy, military, technology, and values, and demands an equally sophisticated response. Leaders must balance competition with cooperation, manage the transition peacefully, and build a stable order that preserves the peace.